What up, YouTube? It's your boy, Detroit, with another video. Before we get started, please click that subscribe button to help us grow and make sure you comment on the video. And before you go, like the video. Like the video right now. Let's do it. Let's get started.
His boy Elroy. Do 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 do. Da-na-na. We're gonna try this out. 75 cents.
Spider-Man, where you been?
I don't know. This ain't gonna work. How about?
Fire one.
Whoa! Good Lord. Ah. I have no idea what you're missing. Arcade is cool, but this pinball is awesome.
So there's some exciting things going on, some progress finally being made with this pinball we've been waiting all year for. We finally have the game list for all the tables that are scheduled to come out either the end of 2020 or the beginning of 2021. And so I'll just share with you my take on all of this, what I've gained from my first year as a virtual or digital pinball owner. This is the reality of it. Think about when you first was considering your first arcade one-up cabinet. If you were like me, you were saying, oh man, where am I gonna get the money for this? Why do I need, should I invest money in this cabinet? Is it gonna be worth my money, worth my time? Is it going to be fun to play? All those things we considered. And that one cabinet seemed like it was unattainable. And we struggled so much with, making that first purchase. Once we did, for a huge number of us, it wasn't our first cabinet. It led us down a rabbit hole that resulted in all kinds of cabinets in our man caves, game rooms, garages, lofts, wherever we play. So I want to be perfectly honest with you. Pinball is not going to be any different. It's not going to be any different. All of this struggle you're doing with, should I pay extra for this or do I buy the cheaper one? All that stuff is going to be out the window because this is not going to be your first cabinet or your last cabinet. It's not going to be your last cabinet for the majority of people, because once you get hooked on this pinball, it is an ongoing hobby. And so don't struggle so much with the particular table so much as look at it from this standpoint. There are going to be a very small number of people who are only going to get one, because the challenge with pinball is the size, right? It takes up a lot more space. It comes out farther. It's just a different shape than the cabinets, the 3/4 scale cabinets. So these things are larger, longer, and that type of thing. So you're going to have to fit it into your environment. Now, I say it's not going to be your last cabinet doesn't mean that you're not going to only get one, but I believe if you stick with one, you're going to want to modify it. And why do I say that? It's because of the games that are available. Now, it's not everyone's not a modder, so everyone's not going to want to mod, but a good percentage of you are going to want to do that. And what's going to make that decision for you are your willingness to be satisfied with the existing games, the games that come on the cabinet. So if you're not satisfied with the games on the cabinet, you're going to, one, buy a different cabinet so you have more games, or two, modify the existing system so that you can play additional games. Because I would tell you, as much fun as I have with all my old classics, Donkey Kong, Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Dig Dug, Burger Time, all those things, I enjoy the pinball the most. And I think it's because I played the pinball the least back in the day. So the games are important, and I think that's why they were trying to hold those games close to the chest as much as possible, the whole entire list, because they didn't want competing products on their competitors. They didn't want their games to be picked up by the competitors, not with the initial cabinet. For example, Toy Shock has the Gottlieb tables, and now At Games with their Legends pinball is going to pretty much have all of those tables plus some. So that's the type of thing they were trying to avoid, but it also comes down to the provider of the games, whether it's Farside or Zen Studios. That pretty much dictates what games are going to be available. But it's not that simple, because there are different types of pinball tables, and the appeal is going to be uniquely yours. You have to determine which games you like. So there are the EM tables, the electric, magnetic, mechanical, the initial tables where they were just everything, every sound, every movement, everything was a moving piece. The scoreboard was mechanical. Everything on the table was a bell or tin, or it was a physical thing that made the noises. And so the people who played in the 60s and 70s pinball, those are what they grew up with. That's what they know. That's what they like. And so those are going to appeal primarily to them, but other people will find it. Other age groups will find it attractive as well. But that's a very unique type of pinball. And Toy Shock and At Games has some of those tables on their list. And even where the games on their list have transitioned into the next wave of pinball table types, which is the solid state, which basically just means computer driven or all the noises and sounds and sound effects and all those things are all generated by a computer. So once you went to solid states, you can have things like voices and and different type of sound effects like space noises and all these different things. Make it a lot more interesting than just bells and whistles, right? And so the with those early solid state or SS tables, you primarily have just an emulation of the scoreboard that used to exist as a mechanical scoreboard, but now it's just digital. And a lot of those earlier tables also, even though they were computer generated sounds, they were emulating the same bells and whistles that the EM tables had. So you have those early SS tables that just emulate the old style because that's what everybody liked. And then it started to progress into much nicer and different tables, more challenging tables, more exciting tables. And then the solid state evolved into the scoreboard, including the DMD, the dot matrix display, which allow all kinds of fancy things like mini games and animations and things that just made it a lot more interesting. And so as you look through the list of games that are available, you have to decide which of these games you like, and are they going to hold your attention? Because if they don't, then you're going to end up wanting to mod or buy another table. So if you don't plan on buying or modding right away, you want to get the table that satisfies you with the type of games that you like to play. And it's kind of hard because you can play most of these games on Steam because both the providers have these games available. So you do have a way to play them. But in the description, I will have links to all of the games that are available on these tables so that you can at least start looking at them and seeing what appeals to you. For me, over the last year, I've learned that I prefer the more modern real tables, though I don't really prefer the modern digital tables that Arcade 1-Up is going to have with their Star Wars and Marvel tables. The Attack from Mars are real tables that are just digitized, where the other two tables from Arcade 1-Up are newly generated pinball tables that's designed for the computer platform and never existed on a real pinball table. So for me, of the Arcade 1-Up tables, the Attack from Mars would be the one that I prefer. I would not be interested in the other ones. I have a lot of those tables on Steam, and I seldom ever play because it's just not what I like. For some people, it's going to be the EM tables, and so they're going to lean towards the well played or the at games tables because they have more of that earlier games. Even though they do have some later ones that into the early '90s that have the DMD on the at games table. The at games table is going to offer you the most variety, where the other ones are pretty much you just stick with those one particular type of styles. So take a look at these game lists and try and figure out what you want to do, how you want to enjoy it. Because for me, I've found that the Stern tables, the more modern Stern tables, are the ones that I prefer. I like this Spider-Man. This is a much more interesting game to me, because if you go all the way back to the EM tables, those things were very it was just you just had these tones, these mechanical noises and things. Nothing really exciting about it. You're hitting down, the plunger. You're hitting down targets. You're hitting a couple of bells. It's not a whole lot of excitement. This game here from Stern, the Spider-Man. This is not the Spider-Man that's available on the Marvel. This is not the Marvel Spider-Man. This and AC/DC and it's a handful of tables that I really enjoy because they draw you in with the sounds and with the action and they're just real exciting tables. So a lot of the tables just really are sleepers and boring to me because it's just not what I like. So before you spend any money, I encourage you to take a look at these lists of tables. I'm not going to read through all of them, uh, but the but I want to just share this with you. In the description, I have the top 10 rated solid state games, and of those top 10 games, only one of them makes it to any of these tables that are available, and that's Attack from Mars. That's 10th on the list. Of the top rated EM games, only one, Jack's Open, even makes it on any of these tables. So even for the people that like EM or solid state, you know, these tables just aren't going to appeal to some people. I think people who like traditional real tables are going to lean towards the arcade one up Attack from Mars or the at games because it has some real tables there. But if you're going to mod, is it really going to make a difference? I would say yes, because the modding portion may take a while, and you want to be able to play your table as long as you can before you rip it out and start modifying it. But really, if you're going to mod it, then you got to start looking at different things like interior space. Like the Toy Shock was very tiny inside. I am one of the few people who have put the whole computer inside and was successful with it. Most people just stick it out and leave it outside of it because it's just so small in there. Or they use switches or Nintendo Switch as the brains of the table and different methods. So if you're going to mod it, you want to just start looking at what table should I get. I like the way the arcade one up the play field lifts up, and if that's how it's going to be accessible, I think that's nice. I'm not sure how the at games cabinet will allow you to get into the interior. The Toy Shock, you have to take the whole back off and then take the play glass off, the play field off. It is not very easy to get inside, and coupled with not having a whole lot of space to begin. Also, it looked like it was one side on the Toy Shock, but the way they designed it, the body doesn't have the whole cavity inside. It's not as big as what it looks like. So it's going to be interesting to see if the other two, or even well played, so the other three, how much space they're going to make available to us inside to be able to add our components if we want to mod it. The real glass makes a difference to me. The screen size, even though I am completely delighted with this Toy Shock mod, it's a 24-inch screen. Bigger's obviously better, but you can live with the 24-inch. So that's not as big of a deal, though. You will want it to be bigger. I could even get a 32-inch in here if I wanted to. It's just not worth the effort at this point in time. But at a later point in time, maybe I will. But I am really enjoying this pinball. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. But which tables are you going to enjoy? That's up to you to decide. I enjoyed the built-in 12 tables from Toy Shock when I had no access to anything else and didn't know any better. Once I knew better, I wasn't going to be able to stay on that table long. And so that's what you got to think about as well. But take a look at these games. Which games are you excited about? Let me know in the comments. I appreciate you.
Oh. No! Ah, that's it.
Excellent score.
C-Dub. Come on, baby. 0-0, 0-0, baby. Come on, baby.
on, baby. Oh, free game, baby. So I won a free game in the game, and I popped the credit, we call it. That's how you do it, man. That's where you lived for that moment as a kid. When you put your last quarter in there, played the game ended, and you popped another credit, man. Got my name up on the board, popped another credit, get to play 2 more times. Man, this is pinball at its finest. Hey guys, I appreciate you taking time to watch the video and for clicking the like button. Check out the description for additional information, and please subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell for notification of new videos. Ask your questions and share your thoughts below in the comment section. And until next time, I'll see you on the web.